Hey, how's it going? I want to tell you guys about the dad burger, and I want to make one while I do it. Let's go. It all starts in this home of my youth, in this kitchen of my youth, and this refrigerator. That stack of burgers. You might ask, Jason, why are they in the fridge? Well, that's how they come. Unless you catch them on a Sunday. Then, that's when they're made. I'm looking for the bacon because that's my addition to the dad burger. But as I was saying about Sundays, what I was saying about Sundays is that that's when they're made. So, is that another bad? No, that's not bad cheese. Okay, I can still use that. Okay, right here at this stove, and right here in that pan, at that stove, in that spot, he would hand form patties actually at the time, and spend all day making them. Now this is coming from a man of meager culinary aspirations. So, in fact, I'm pretty sure that his male friend, a good friend of his, out of pity for me, showed him a few recipes to cook so that I didn't starve growing up. But he learned a few things, but what he kind of settled on was these burgers. And they used to be hand formed, but he's graduated to getting preformed patties now. The hand formed ones were sometimes they were taller than they were wide. It was like, I used to call them meatballs and no cheese, but they were thick. They were thick and just meat wads. And for 40 years, he'd make a week's worth of them, and then that's how he fed himself all week long. So, these burgers are symbols of pain and perseverance. Perseverance in the face of not knowing what the hell to do with a kid and a wife that just left you and having to figure it out. So, let's see if I can adjust this so you can see what oh yeah, I should probably warm these up while So, why pain? Pain because I think he thought he doesn't know anything about cooking, or in fact, the way they were served to me, first time I ever found out what the hell a dad burger was, it was literally just what you just saw. A piece of meat on a plate with some ketchup. That was it. Cheese only happened in the last 15 years, 20 years. But I introduced the concept of bread. And this goes back to even when I was little. He never had buns for anything. He'd get a package of Oscar Mayer hot dogs. No buns, just, there's hot dogs. And, well, if you want something to eat it on, make a piece of toast. So, okay. here we are, making my toast. Well, the reason why I say perseverance is because as inept as he is in the kitchen, just asking him for this extra 2 pieces of bread there, you know, I mean, it was almost like he took offense to that, to his singular piece of meat on a plate, that I wanted to have it on a piece of bread. Sorry, man. I mean, it is what it is. You feed yourself off of that same thing your entire life for years, and I mean, no, don't get me wrong. This is week after week after week after week consecutively for 40 years. Now, this might be the occasional grilled cheese and soup, or switch it up every now and then, but this has been consistent pattern for the last 40 years, and by no means has this gotten perfected over the 40 years. Now, I've had some really good ones from him, but at least on this last batch, and what actually made me want to make this video was these were absolutely horrible. They went back to no cheese, just about all the life you could possibly cook out of these pieces of meat has been cooked out of. So we introduced the pain. Where does the pain come from? Well, for 40 years, that guy would stand here at the stove, hand forming patties, watching Fox News, listening to the talking heads telling him what he should be concerned about, telling him what he needs to be worried, scared, fearful about, telling him what he should be interested in, telling him what he should value and care about in the world, and or the political actor that's in place at the time. So it's a very now you might be saying to yourself, well, that doesn't sound so bad. Maybe you even watch Fox News. But the problem with that is the mass media and the talking heads on TV and all that, they're just bought and paid for by pharmaceutical companies and higher up, governments, all of the string pullers in this world. You don't think they know that their instant access to you is through your TV? And how are they going to use that to manipulate and control? It's through your emotions. All of the emotions that we see on news, Fox, CNN, all of the worst ones, and the divisive nature that it causes is all emotion. So when you're sitting here and forming that meat, just getting all worried about the world year after year after year, just pounding that aggression, that pain into those patties, he's having some problems with his feet lately. And I'm learning energy healing and how the energy circuits in your body work, your lymphatic, all that stuff. And I'm trying to help him with this knowledge that I'm gaining. Mind you, I don't know if you could call his religion orthodox or if it's considered like an orthodox, but if you could, an orthodox Christian or just one that's just like totally by the book and church every Sunday kind of a thing. So of course, a life of fear, and on top of that, Fox News, and just, paint yourself the rest of that wonderful story. So I forgot where I was going with that, but something about religion, orthodox being that he was, God-fearing, definitely fearing man. So they're just about done. I'm just gonna cut up some cheese to throw in these bad boys, and I just remembered I ran out of bacon too, so I can't even like show you the real version of the dad burger here. It's more about the conversation anyway. I got some awesome is that pepper jack cheese here. It's always so hard to tell with pepper jack whether it's like still good or if it's just the pepper that went bad, you know, or is it bad? It's green, I don't know. But we'll call it good. Oh. And so, what we were talking about was the religion, and I totally lost my train of thought on that. Well, emotions. So, anyway, oh yeah, the religion thing. So, the energy healer. So, I'm learning all this stuff, right? And I'm really wanting to help him out with his hurt feet because he's standing on them constantly, all day at work, 50 plus hours a week. You know, he's still under the thought that he has to work hard in order to get money. That's the only way to get money in his mind is by working hard or working overtime or, you know, because he was trained to believe that by the very system that's got him standing here watching those talking heads on every Sunday. So, what does that mean? That means that he is very resistant to my advances in the energy healing realm. Well, one doesn't believe that any of it is going to work. I didn't really come out and tell him that it's energy healing for a fact that he is such a closeted Christian. And they get weird about that kind of stuff. But just resistant to it in general, just overall resistance. And I can just tell by his emotional energy when he's resistant to something goes almost like straight to 10-year-old level. Like, cut out the middleman, that's how he behaves. So it's very, very immature. And I can pick up on that, so I'll be asking him like, hey, you know, I'm not really feeling you're very receptive to this, and I'm really just trying to help you. And then it's an emotional outburst in the form of, well, I really don't think what you have to say is really going to help me or anything. And, you know, I'm just like, well, how are you going to know unless you try? And, you know, all this stuff. And trying to explain to him how the energy meridians work and that, you know, the Chinese have been using it for thousands of years and, you know, all these things. And just flat out, outright, no desire to accept this new thing or just anything, any of the above, just total denial. And then the subsequent burgers ended up turning out the driest, the worst burgers I've ever had from this man. And, you know, my desire to help him is only to put him in a place of peace. You would think I was asking something too hard from him or something, but these burgers here are a symbol of his pain that he's felt and the pain in his feet. And I mean, you can even smell that there's pain coming off of them because he doesn't feel that he can heal. He doesn't believe it. He believes he's just getting old, his body's just working down, and he's going to wear out, and every step he takes is pain for him. And I said, well, if that's the way you want to believe that things are without changing your action or perception, then that's exactly how things are going to be. And that's what I told him. It's unfortunate, but, you know, until a person opens themselves up to receiving the healing, receiving the gifts, receiving the money without like thinking that you have to sell your soul to get it, or like, you know, give your soul to a corporation your whole life. And that's unfortunately the mindset that he's in. And there's, like, for his generation, I really feel bad, but like, just being how, you know, resistance is built into his religion. That's the nature of organized religion, is that they get in there, they cut you off from your true source, and then they tell you, don't go looking anywhere else. Oh no, you'll go straight to hell for doing that. That's the worst thing you can do. Don't go looking for answers anywhere else. We have all the answers. Don't look at the man behind the green curtain. Kind of a thing. And that's all they get you. Well, you know, it only took a couple hundred, maybe a couple thousand years for people to wake up to that shit. But some people are going to be more receptive to that than others. And someone like my father, although he'd be maybe receptive to it in the beginning, he'd start to get a little worried because self-discernment has been something that has been deprogrammed from him. And so, to the point where I really feel bad, and I feel bad even saying this about my own dad, but it was to the point where a fellow co-worker who came to this country on a work visa to come here and work, and was about to go back. I think he was from the Ukraine, and his work visa was ending. It was a father and son. They were here working. They were about to get sent back, and my dad had thought of this. Well, if they could stay, the employer would want to keep them. You know, of course they did. And so my dad thought of this. Well, let's write a letter to President Trump and see what we can do. I thought, great idea, you know. You in your reality, the citizenry can write letters to their president and they'll be heard. If you choose not to believe that, then that's how it's going to be. But if you choose to believe that, then that's absolutely how it is. So, going along with that, I said, hey, you know, write up, start writing it. Do you have the letter yet? And he's, oh, no. Okay, well, do you got any ideas what you want to say in it? Oh, and then, you know, I could feel his proverbial gears start. And I said, well, you know, he's also not a very skilled typist, or I've never actually seen him form a letter, but I can only imagine the amateur. Not to talk badly about him or anything, but I offered to give him some assistance in structuring the letter. So, a couple couple days later, I ask him, so, you got any ideas for that letter? Well, no. I said, why not? Well, so-and-so's son, now mind you, the people from Ukraine, so-and-so's son figures we'll go through all that work and they won't even read it anyway. And all this stuff because of how the structure of everything. Like, so you just let someone who's half your age and a non-citizen of this country come into your workplace and tell you how things are in your country with your president? That's what I mean about discernment. So, anyway, here's the dad burger. This video is already 20 minutes long, so I'm going to be chopping a lot out of it, but I just wanted to tell you that little bit about these certain insights that are everywhere in our lives, and the ones that I'm picking up on, and also putting it out there that if some of these insights resonated with you, that that I'm capable of further insights, more personal insights, if you'd like. Not sure how to really put anything like that together, but I do like helping people, and a lot of times people need help with their own stories, you know. And so what that looks like, I don't know, but this video must end and I must eat. So till next time.